Beautiful.
Yeah, Make 4. Let me just address Make 4 whilst you're here. Make 4, listen, I'll be straight with you and I'll be blunt, so forgive me for being blunt, but are you familiar with the video called Is Jeranism Flat Wrong Part 1? It's by
No,
Smoke Screen Designs.
no, I don't know. No.
Right, it's an old video, but it's a really good video, and I suggest that you watch it because whatever your story is, just watch that video and then you'll be put right back onto the I don't know campaign.
If we're on the curved Earth, which fine, let's say we're on a curved Earth, why is it when we fly, whatever, we don't?
Yes, that same curve that made the ship disappear from our get further away from a point on the Earth, the more deviation you will get in your visual angles. For example, if
now I just want to make a point right here. If we're this flat, if the third degree.
Yeah, anyway, check that out. I can't find the exact bit that I wanted.
It's about 12 minutes in.
Oh, right, okay. Let's have another go.
Are you on about the bit where he does the conversion on the spreadsheet?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, do you want the actual, like, the one sentence where he says, right,
but if the moon looks
just before the 12th minute,
224,000 miles.
Just before what?
11:30 onwards.
11:30?
Yeah.
And we put in 55.4 for this degree. We go back to her original degree that she had because we say, all right, what if the Earth is flat? That's what journalism says. Oh, wait a second. Now the moon is 3,409.143 miles away. So let me just ask you a question. Does the moon look like it is 3,409 miles away? Or do you think it looks like it's 224,500 miles away? Because if the moon really looks like it's 3,400 miles away, then based on what he just showed us, the Earth is flat. But if the moon looks 224,000 miles away, then the Earth is a sphere. Now, go look at amateur cameras that people sent up in a balloon. Look how close the sun looks. Look at how it's over the Earth. Look at the hot spot below. The sun does not look 93 million miles away. I know
You have gone past it now, Nath.
Say again?
You have gone past it.
Past it? Well, I started at 11:30.
It was like in the 10 seconds of that period. Maybe go with 25 and then play it for 10 seconds.
okay. So it's 224,573 miles. Okay, so let's see what we get. Let's plug in 89.4 because we had to account for Earth's curvature, and
that's the bit you're talking about. So essentially, where he changes the angle because they've inserted the R value. So they make an adjustment because they've taken the angle, assuming they're on a flat plane, as they would put it, globe heads that is, and then they change it to the R value. So it's not assuming anything. You just take the measurement, then insert R.
It's exactly what the Rumpus did a couple of shows ago when he started drawing curves.
Right.
Just like he's doing right now. Or did... Is this him here? Oh, yeah, he's... Huh.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal link in the info box below the video. Most importantly though, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by The Rumpus, The Plain Truth, Sleeping Warrior, Make 4, Jose, Event Horizon, Eric and Arwin. Good to have you all.
Yo.
Hey.
Cheers, everyone.
Make 4's gone for a cig.
Oh, right, okay. Let's do a bit of housekeeping. So, any signs of curvature, gentlemen?
No.
All over the place. Can't
Only
wait
in
for it.
heads.
Unless somebody starts drawing it on a piece of paper, Rumpus.
Hold on, all over the
Where's
place.
that cumulative drop, Rumpus? Where is it?
What do you
Where's
mean by
this?
that?
Where's
The
this
cumulative
curvature?
drop
What do
that's
you mean by
inherent
that?
to
No, Rumpus
curvature.
him. Was the... Got an answer? Yes, from Rumpus.
What do you mean by cumulative drop? Do you mean
That's
things
what
get dropped?
curvature is. That's curvature. Cumulative drop. It's not a straight line drop as you
That,
actually
yeah, that's
observe.
correct. That's correct, yes.
So
That's
where's
right.
that accumulation of drop? Where is it? Where does it start to build up?
Well, this diagram here that's being shown on the moment, being shared.
Diagram. Ooh,
Sorry,
nice.
for
So where
example-
actual observation is it there?
Sorry? That photograph has got it there. Things further away, they drop more. What more do you want?
No, not more. In a cumulative rate.
Yeah, they guess right. They get they
linear
further.
rate. If they
That's
drop
right.
in a linear rate, that doesn't coincide with curvature.
No, it doesn't go in a linear rate.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it
No.
does.
No, it does not.
Yeah,
Absolutely
it
not.
does. Absolutely, it does.
Absolutely not.
Obstruction, is it a
Or
linear rate?
The
Yeah, it is.
Earth curve calculator, all the things we know about from a certain distance away, all they correlate with that. So it correlates with the Earth curve calculator, which assumes what you call a cumulative drop, which is just the curvature of the
Sorry,
Earth.
it
Wanna
assumes
take that,
R.
Nathan?
The curve calculator assumes an Earth radius. It's a begging the question fallacy. It's already honest here the moment you start using it.
Corroborates any observation you make. It's corroborated by that. So
It already assumes a sphere.
and it correlates with observations.
Who cares?
No,
It's already got the
include
assumption of a
perspective.
sphere. You don't
Take a
need
photograph,
to. Sorry,
you know that.
sorry. Why are you rumpusing this? Why are you rumpusing? The show's been on
I'll,
for 2
I'll,
minutes.
I'll
and
refer
you're
you to
already
Ranty's
rumpusing.
video from yesterday, Rumpus. Go and have a look at that, mate. In actual fact, go and look at Ranty's, all of his videos. It completely destroys everything that you've just said.
He's got some strange observations in some strange atmospheric conditions that do show more
No, you've got
No,
depression.
daily footage.
You've got
Daily
distant eyelids, mate.
daily-
Now, come on, let's silly.
Let me finish. In some conditions, I mean, Anthony, for instance, had that observation of the Isle of Man, which I'm still haven't done this hangout about, but I've got the document nearly finished. He observed the same thing that Ranty did, where he was able to, from being 3 meters off the surface of the water, he was able to see things that were actually able to see.
Were they looming up over the curve, were they?
Right.
3 meters. Don't be
Yeah.
ridiculous. It was
I'll
about
be-
3 feet max.
No, I'll be proving it to you, Anthony, in that video.
All right.
That's interesting to have on the show,
And
Rumpus.
the refract and the conditions he was in, which were shown by the meteorological conditions that Philip and I were able to obtain, he was able to. Hold on, don't interrupt.
Wasn't this your
Oh,
promise
in fact.
from 4 months
Indeed
ago?
it was, yeah,
Wasn't
indeed.
this your promise from 4
That's right. Yes,
Sorry.
well, it's
Where
turned
is it?
Telling us
It-
about.
when are you gonna do it?
Sorry,
It's turned into
Ranty.
a bit of a monster.
The question
and
on the
I've-
table
Oh,
is: are there any signs of
can't get it.
curvature?
Can you,
So,
Rumpus?
can you show us a sign of curvature? I mean, we've got observations like the one on screen of Isle of
Yeah,
Man
like the
in
one
the
on screen,
distance.
That'll do.
So, Arwin's pointed out there's no accumulative drop. So, what
But
is
there
your
is.
example of curvature.
It correlates exactly with the curvature.
Sorry, what is this example?
Well, you've got one on screen that demonstrates it wonderfully.
How does this demonstrate curvature?
Because the base of the far distant wind turbines are well below the horizon. That's not possible on a flat Earth, and only possible.
It is. It's down to the viewing angle. So a limitation in the viewing angle will cause things to obstruct bottom up.
No, it won't. No.
Sorry, don't just deny the fact that we have a limitation of an angle at distance. And that angle will cause things to disappear through angular limitation.
No such thing.
Right.
Excuse me?
Gibberish.
That's just a hand wave dismissal. So as you view out into the distance, you see things based on the angle of attack. That's not a hand wave dismissal statement from Rumpus. That's a fact. You don't have to like it because your calculator ignores all aspects of perspective and assumes a radius. That doesn't fuss me. Doesn't change the fact that you still have a viewing angle to things.
Use your eyes, Rumpus. How can I believe a word you say?
Say again, sorry.
How you don't even know how your eyes work, Rumpus. How can I believe a word?
Exactly how they work. I know exactly how they work.
You don't understand viewing function. You don't understand perspective. You don't understand areas of function. You deny them, and then
Hold on. So I don't understand perspective. Could you give me the formula for perspective, please?
Oh, here we go again.
Rumpus. I'll say it again just one more time. Let's get it back on track. Sorry, guys.
This is what you're talking about.
Sorry, Rumpus. Please don't Rumpus the hangout. Rumpus.
The question on the table. Scientifically.
The question. Sorry, Arwin. For the love of God, I'm trying to get control of the hangout, Arwin. That doesn't mean join in the Rumpus thing. So, the question on the table is any signs of
Rumpus just for that. Yeah, well done.
or Rumpus because he wasn't taught.
Guys. The question on the table is any signs of Earth curvature, Rumpus.
Yeah, and that picture you were just showing with wind turbines is proof of the curvature of the Earth.
Sorry, it wasn't showing any Earth curve. Sorry, Rumpus. You're claiming the obstruction is caused by curvature, and you use Rumpus one more time. And you use a begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective omitting curve calculator to prove that the obstruction, not Earth curve, is a correlation with Earth curve. So I'm asking, have you got any evidence of actual Earth curve?
The photograph you had, the wind turbines.
No, that had obstruction that was not accumulative, as pointed out by Arwin. Again, you gave a hand wave dismissal.
I can give you the formula if you like. I can tell you exactly. If you give me a distance,
you're not listening.
I'll tell you how much is obscured.
You're not listening. I want you to present your evidence of Earth curvature.
Okay. All right. Let me just share my hold on, bloody.
Oh, is it gonna be side view of a globe? Is it?
Hello, Bob. How you doing?
Oh yeah.
Hi, what about Bob?
Oh, this is, by the way, this is Anthony. This is a bit of the document.
Hello, what about Bob? How you doing?
Whoa, he didn't even use a globe. That's
Hold on, we haven't got there yet.
Hello, what about
we
Bob?
haven't got there. I knew it.
Arwin, shut up. Hello, what about Bob? How you doing?
Hey, can you hear me all right?
I can just about hear you.
Hello,
let's turn you up. Good to have you.
It's great exercise in cognitive dissonance. Listening to Rumpus. And that's about all it is.
So what you have on screen now, Rumpus, is a demonstration of the limitation of the angle of attack. You will lose things from bottom up because of the limitation of your viewing angle. That is what causes bottom up obstruction, not Earth curve. I also observed that you have a perfectly straight line that doesn't also demonstrate any curve. There's no curve in this.
How far do you think? How many miles?
You're just stuttering. The obstruction in this picture is caused by the viewing angle.
No such thing.
Yes, there is absolutely a viewing angle to anything you view ever. You always have a viewing angle to everything. Rumpus says you don't because he ignores the viewing angle in his begging the question, perspective hijacking, proof of nothing, curve calculator that already has a radius inside it. So it's not useful for proving anything at all.
Well, it uses existing body of verified knowledge.
Sorry, Let's just play that video again. Do I really have to do this every time you say that you're using the existing body of knowledge rather than just admitting, like you have done before, don't rumpus me, that you have to presume it? So using the presumption of a sphere in the begging the question... Don't rumpus. Right, I'm going to have to kick you out, rumpus. You can't help yourself.
Well, you don't let me answer.
Have you got Tourette's?
You don't let me answer.
Have you got Tourette's?
You don't let me answer.
Have you got Tourette's?
You don't let me answer.
Have you got Tourette's?
You don't let me
Have you got Tourette's?
Have you the one?
Have you got Tourette's? Have you got Tourette's?
Have you got Tourette's? You seem to be repeating yourself, not me.
You're an idiot, and I am going to demolish this. So this is caused by a limitation of your viewing angle, which will cause the bottom section of these turbines to disappear from bottom up. The bottom section has a smaller angle than the top section. I have given this example on several occasions. If a person was stood there and you backed away from them and they removed their shoes, eventually their shoes would be too small to see. The angular size of those shoes would not be visible. They would disappear as you backed away from them. However,
correct. Well done.
However, without Rumpus admitting that I am correct, and you will lose things from bottom up due to the viewing angle, which is precisely what I am demonstrating in my example. He likes rumpusing, but he won't get to here. The reason these turbines disappear is because the bottom section is like the shoes. They eventually disappear through a limitation of their angular size, and that is caused by the viewing angle. Now, that's not to say that if somebody went and put those shoes on, you wouldn't have an increased viewing angle to the taller person than the shoes. The shoes would still be gone, like the bottom of these turbines are gone, due to the viewing angle.
If I stood on my head with the top stuff...
I don't care about your stupid example. My example obliterates this as an assertion of Earth curve when using a begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective omitting curve calculator.
If I turn
this
the camera upside down,
proves nothing. Unless you automatically assume you are on a sphere, using a begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective omitting curve calculator, this example will never prove any Earth curve. This is not an example of Earth curve, Rumpus.
This is just gibberish times 10.
Oh, you're just getting very high-pitched. This is not an example of
It's
Earth
hilarious
curve.
how much gibberish you're spouting here. You don't understand anything about optics. You don't know anything about perspective.
Yeah, I do. Your calculator ignores it entirely. Every single measurement you put in will be an actual size and not an angular size. Your calculator doesn't deal with angular sizes of things. It only deals with actual sizes of things. So when you say that a certain... Yeah, I know it's correct. You don't have to keep confirming what I'm saying, Rumpus. I know I'm right. Yeah? I'm also right when I say the viewing angle is what causes these things to disappear from bottom up. Sod all to do with Earth curve. This isn't an example of Earth curve. The only way you can extrapolate this out to be an example of Earth curve is if you use a begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking, curve calculator that has already assumed you're on a sphere to begin with. So it's not a proof of sphere.
Viewing operations. The calculators are not trying to create an image, therefore they do not have to...
Yeah, we're not trying to create calculator images. We've got a picture on screen. And I can tell you unequivocally that the reason they disappear from bottom up is the same reason someone's shoes would disappear if you backed away from them. Once they disappear, it doesn't mean that someone can't walk across to those shoes, put them on and be seen. Their shoes will still be gone, like the bottom of these turbines are gone, because of the angle of attack. That's what causes things to disappear bottom up. Nothing to do with your begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking, curve
the
calculator.
bottom of the shoes gets
at
smaller,
a linear
and they
rate
disappear in the same
the
way.
distance.
That's not what's happening
Linear
here.
relation to the distance.
Shoes disappear.
Once obstruction starts,
the
shoes
drop the same way.
bottom.
These are not doing the same as your shoes. These are
How much longer?
bottom
Who
first.
votes we kick him out?
Shoes.
He hasn't stopped talking the entire
and it
time.
starts
Should we
to
just kick him
set
out?
in.
Who votes we kick him out? He's just not stopped rumpusing the
I
entire hangout.
do. I vote we kick him out.
He hasn't stopped talking the entire time.
I wasn't talking then.
He denies absolutely anything you say to him, Nathan. Just kick him out.
You don't like the facts.
He's been
You're trying to sense the reality again.
Obstruction,
I don't
once
think
it
this is
starts,
if I could.
it drops
Okay.
at a
Anthony's been
linear
trying to ask me a
rate in
question for 10
relation to
minutes.
the distance.
I think we should get make 4 in. Let's get make 4 in. Get Rumpus out, get make 4 back in.
What's up?
I'm just saying we should talk to somebody who's not going to be rumpusing.
Well, you don't like facts. You don't like a sense of reality. You want a sense of reality, don't you? That's what you want.
What, like the curve calculator censors perspective and only gives you things that are not performing viewing functionality? That sort of censorship.
I didn't hear who was someone else.
Rumpus, let me ask you a question. You said if you stood on your head, would the tops of the turbines disappear, correct?
That's correct. It's because Nathan has some strange idea.
No, I don't need you to explain anything. I asked you a question. Is that correct?
That is correct. Nathan's weird understanding.
Okay, stop talking.
Need an assertion about
stop
me
talking.
Well,
my next question is, Rumpus, I want you to answer your own question. If you stand on your head, would the tops of the turbines disappear? Now, you need to analyze the picture and tell me what the difference is between your question and the reality that we're looking at with the turbines, because you can answer your own question, Rumpus.
No, they wouldn't. That's what invalidates Nathan's reasoning.
Why wouldn't it? Why?
Because it has the lens and the optics have no preference for up and down or left or right. You can turn the camera upside down. You can be upside down. Doesn't make any difference. Nathan's idea that somehow
So when you ask if I'm upside down on my head, your question has no relevance. It makes no difference. So asking if I'm on my upside down head, as an example, is pointless. Totally pointless.
I didn't hear any.
Yeah, your example about being on your head makes no difference. So it's just a red herring, pointless example of nothing.
Well, you were claiming that the optics do something special going down.
No, we have a viewing angle. I don't claim the optics do something if you turn the bloody camera upside down. That's a red herring.
So what are you claiming is special that the optics are doing?
Nothing special. You just have a viewing angle to everything you see ever.
Okay, Nathan.
Yes, okay, Nathan. Excellent. Thank you, Rumpus. Yes, we have a viewing angle to everything we see. And as you back away from things that are small, they disappear due to their angular size. Now, if that was a pair of shoes, you'd back away from those shoes and they'd eventually disappear. Then your mate goes and puts those shoes on and you can see him. You still can't see his shoes in exactly the same way you can't see the bottom of those turbines. It is down to the angular relationship with the bottom of those turbines. Sod all to do with assuming Earth curve and using a begging the question calculator.
Look at some shoes and see if they disappear from the bottom up as you move a few hundred yards away and they can't see them.
Not a few hundred yards. Are you telling me these photographs are taken a few hundred yards away?
The example you gave...
Sorry, are these photos taken at a few hundred yards?
The example you gave...
Excuse me, are your photos taken a few hundred yards away?
The example you gave with shoes, and you said that if you go away, move further away, that they disappear.
Yeah, you move further away and the angular size of those shoes will eventually be breached and you will lose them. They will disappear. So you can't see the shoes anymore, they're too small, through an angular size limitation. But then your mate goes over and he puts them on. And what do you know? You can still see your mate, but you can't see his shoes because they're still in that limited angle. The angle of attack is what causes...
The shoes don't disappear from the bottom up, do they?
Yeah, they do. They disappear, you back away from them, and eventually they're too small to see. You could do the example with something even smaller, like a fly. You could back away from a fly, and eventually it'd be too small to see.
But not...
Yes, so things get too small to see. But that doesn't change the fact that if the shoes or the fly are too small to see through angular limitation, something with a bigger angle can be seen.
Not from the bottom up, Nathan.
Yeah, from the bottom up. So I put my shoes on, I back away from them. The shoes will be on the horizon as I back away from them. And when they disappear through an angular limitation, the size is too small. They disappear on the horizon as I back away from them. Now you can lie and obfuscate and claim that angles aren't important and don't take place in reality. That's because you're a muppet. You're a perspective denier. You're an R-believing, R-worshipping zealot who has a perspective-omitting, proof-of-nothing curve calculator.
They don't disappear from the bottom up, though, do they?
Yeah, they do. Your shoes would disappear through an angular size limitation, and then your person, your mate, goes and puts them on. And because he is taller, you have a wider angle to him.
Do the shoes disappear from the bottom up, please?
Yes, they do. Yes, they would absolutely disappear from the bottom up. Yes, that's absolutely correct. They would disappear through a angular limitation. Eventually, they'd vanish. Your mate puts the shoes on, and his shoes have gone. So your mate is disappearing from the bottom up.
So do the shoes disappear from the bottom up as you move away from them, Nathan?
Yeah, they disappear through angular size, the same way as if you back away from a fly, as you conceded twice. Yes, eventually things become too small to see through angular size limitations. So yes, you back away from the shoes and eventually they disappear. Then your mate puts them on and he can be seen, his ankles can be seen, but the shoes cannot. Therefore, the mate has disappeared from bottom up. It's very simple. You can deny it and now start claiming, oh, the shoes disappearing bottom up. No, but your mate looks like he's disappeared from bottom up when he puts the shoes that have disappeared on through their angular size limitation. And it's the same with the turbines. The ones in the background, the bottom section has a more limited angle than the ones in the foreground.
From the bottom up, Nathan.
I didn't hear you.
Could I please?
Could I please have an answer?
Rumpus,
simple
just
question.
Go back
I'd like to ask one question. Do the shoes disappear from the bottom up? Yes or no?
They vanish through angular size limitations. I've said it on multiple occasions. You back away and you'll see 1 pixel, then you'll see no pixels. As you get further away, they will disappear. Then someone comes along and puts the shoes on. And they, because they have an increased angle, can be seen. The shoes, however, don't suddenly come back into view. Their angular size at the horizon is still too small to see. So no, the shoes don't disappear bottom up, but the mate who's just put them on demonstrates that the guy looks like he's disappeared bottom up, the same as the turbines.
So the shoes do disappear from the bottom up, do they?
Yeah, they do. Obstruction it does. Obstruction obstructs the bottom first.
Hold on. So if I move as I move away from shoes that I can see on a flat, let's imagine we're in a big hall or something on a flat floor on say a hotel.
Have you seen that?
Sorry, he's limiting the size of the distances that we're seeing things at. So we're taking pictures at miles. Now he wants to confine it into the hall of some hotel.
So the shoes.
Yeah. So you back away from the shoes, and eventually you can see 2 pixels of the shoes. They're almost too small to see. Then you back away a bit further, and they become 1 pixel because they're just that small. Then you back away a bit further, and they disappear completely. They've gone. They've disappeared. They've vanished. Then your mate puts the shoes back on, and you can see his ankles and his knees and his body. But you still can't see his shoes at that distance because they're too small to see.
Do they disappear from the bottom up?
Yes, it's called diffraction.
Yeah, he does. So the shoes have already disappeared, in my example. You've backed away until they've vanished. Their angular size is too small to see. Then a guy puts them on, and he has disappeared from the bottom up because his shoes still can't be seen. But he's taller than the shoes. You've got a wider angle of view to the guy. So the guy has disappeared from bottom up.
Right.
Right. Yes, that's right. It's all about the angle, Rumpus. Something your calculator ignores. Your calculator only deals in actual sizes of things.
So hold on. So you're claiming that if I have some shoes, I can clearly see them, no obstructions, there's no nice smooth surface on the ground, and I go backwards, the shoes will disappear from the bottom up, so I'll be able to see the top of the shoe.
Eventually they will disappear through an angular size limitation. That's step 1. I'm not saying the shoes will disappear from bottom up. I'm saying the shoes will disappear. They will go down to 2 pixels as you back away from them. You will only see 2 pixels of them. In the same way as on this boat, we can't see people at all. They're too small to see. But if it was an increase of size, we might be able to. So we're talking about things being too small to see. In this case, shoes. We back away from them and eventually they disappear. That's not to say that someone can go and put those shoes on and be seen, with the exception of their shoes, which have still disappeared through an angular size limitation. So they have, effectively, the person, not the shoes, disappeared from bottom up. Their shoes aren't there, their ankles aren't there, but you can still see them effectively disappearing from bottom up.
That's not what happens on a flat
Never believe in flat Earth ever again because it's bullshit. You don't want to believe in it. It'll trick you. Just do some maths. You figure it out.
Do some maths. Assume R. As long as we assume the holy R value, you still believe you're on a sphere. Yeah, well done, Make 4.
What does it go?
Sucks, dude.
Oh,
how many
what
suns you need to? You can't even prove why it curves in an arc from south to from northeast to southeast.
Hello.
I mean, fucking northeast to northwest and southeast to southwest. You can't.
Oh,
denounce flat Earth. Fuck diffraction.
Hello?
You don't even need that.
He talked about diffraction as being one explanation. I want to hear him.
You can prove it. You can prove it on a very small scale.
Tell us what diffraction is. Tell me what diffraction is.
Who cares? You still haven't given us an example of Earth curve. This is still question 1. We've got half an hour into the show. You still haven't given us an example of Earth curve. You still haven't given us an example of Earth curve, Rumpus.
Very close by. As long as the observer is close enough to the surface you're looking past.
What is diffraction, Arwin?
Diffraction is an optical effect by the interaction of light as it passes by a surface of matter. And also knife edges, especially then.
Hello, can you hear me?
Check.
There is
Hey,
diffraction.
sir. Good tabby.
We had hangouts about this here.
Yeah, and you don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, right. Right, but I had to explain. Right.
You don't even know what pressure is, Arwin. You don't even know what pressure is and force. You don't know the difference between them. You're an idiot.
So we still haven't got an example of Earth curve. This is question 1 of the housekeeping. Any signs of Earth curve? We've had lots of assumptions of R, lots of ad hominems, lots of rumpusing. Half an hour into the show, still no signs of Earth curve.
I know.
We move on?
Go, tell me, go on, Arwin.
Somebody tell me if
Tell me what pressure and force are.
Yeah. I know they're two different things, but
Give me a
pressure.
formula for force and pressure. Come on.
Do you want me to explain it, or
No, give me a formula. Tell me the what you would do to determine the pressure if you got a force.
Well, if the force disequilibrium causing the motion.
Oh, right. Go on about force and pressure, and you don't know what you're talking about at all. You don't know something a 13-year-old would know about force and pressure. You are a moron.
Oh, don't come here with your ad homs. You still haven't given us an example of Earth curve.
Hello.
I did earlier.
That's very sad.
Can you not see this guy? He goes on about pressure and force, and he doesn't know
what.
What.
To be agreeing with
you
me.
just keep saying the same thing over and over again. This guy doesn't understand. This guy doesn't understand what an example of Earth curve is. This guy's a moron. I say Earth curve, and he shows me something that's based on an angular limitation. What a moron. Doesn't understand what curve is. Do you understand what the word curve means, moron? This guy's got second grade education, doesn't understand what the word curve means.
Do not disappear from the bottom up.
Sorry, disappearing from the bottom up is not curve, you moron. Nothing's curving in that picture.
Curve causes
they do very, very close up.
No,
yeah, they do. You can.
Hey, what up, guys?
Closer you get to the surface.
This is the person what pressure and force are.
Rumpus is a moron. Rumpus is a moron. He doesn't understand what the word curve means.
Close to a surface, you can make things
go and
bottom up.
This guy's a moron. Rumpus is a moron. Doesn't understand the word curve.
20 centimeters away, you can make things disappear bottom up.
No, they don't.
Eric.
Yeah, you can.
No, they don't.
Yeah, you can.
Hey,
Look at the geometry. Go and do the geometry, Owen.
Rumpus, how come they navigate 600 nautical miles is flat?
They don't. The thing you're referring to about.
What do you mean they don't? What do you mean they don't?
Let me finish then. I'll explain. What your thing about your navigation thing is the difference when you're getting a heading. The effect of the Earth curvature, because it's across you, rather than when you're looking at a boat, for instance, you're dealing with curvature along the line of sight. When you go from sort of left to right, if we imagine you're looking at it, the error that's caused by the Earth curvature is much less. So you don't have such a problem. The error is not as great in terms of making a difference to your heading.
What Earth
as
curve?
It does
I asked you for evidence of Earth curve, and you showed us obstruction of things. So what Earth curve?
Earth curve? Yeah.
What Earth curve?
I'm gonna try to live demonstrate it with my webcam.
What Earth curve?
I need.
The Earth
3
curve,
minutes to set it up.
The flat Earth would not have this effect. You've got.
Don't tell me what the flat Earth wouldn't do. I've asked you for Earth curve. You've now asserted Earth curve. It was the first question. We didn't get past it. You didn't give us any demonstrations. Where's the curve?
This photograph is it?
It's stutter of obstruction. Right. Are you dumb? Do you not understand what the word curve means?
Well, this is an effect of it. Well, okay,
an effect of curve. Did I ask for any effects of Earth curve, you moron?
This is due to the curve. Oh, so what?
Not
so you want
due to the curve. Show me curve.
In a photograph from space.
Oh, in a photograph from space. How can you have gas pressure without a container?
Very easily, guarantee.
Yeah, show me gas pressure without a container.
Actually show us.
It's quite simple. Do you not understand that gravity causes...
Don't tell me what I don't understand. Show me gas pressure without a container.
Okay, if I show you a picture, of the Earth,
in your garage.
If I show you a picture of the Earth,
your picture, oh, a government propaganda picture, painting, you mean? A painting.
Like the Japanese are, or
a painting. A CGI painting? No, that won't do.
Flat earthers.
Oh well, I'll show you a CGI painting of Godzilla to prove Godzilla then.
Rob Skiba, when he took his...
Don't talk about Rob Skiba. Show me bloody Earth curve.
In his video, there is.
Oh, you get really pissed off angry. Go on, get angry about it. Go on.
Well,
eat your mic. Do a George. Eat your mic. Go on, Rumpus.
Is that all you've got, Nathan?
Yeah, that's all you've got to shout.
No. I've got evidence. You have nothing.
Show us gas pressure. Show us a demonstration of gas pressure without a container. Validate your space religion.
If you look at the Rob Skiba video, for instance, of his balloon ascent, you will see that the atmosphere becomes less and less dense, and eventually it goes to nothing.
It's stutter. What becomes a vacuum?
Therefore, we have an example.
Not therefore.
Of gas pressure without a container.
Show me a demonstration of gas pressure without a container. Not a therefore.
Rob Skiba's video demonstration.
That's not a demonstration of gas pressure without a container.
What?
That's a extraction.
Nathan, give me a demonstration of the air in your room now.
Sorry, no. You're asserting we have a vacuum of space. I know we have gas pressure. I want you to demonstrate gas pressure without a container. Your claim is the Earth, this tiny little speck of dust in the infinite expanse of vacuum. That's your claim.
Just like I can't show you the gas pressure in your room unless I use a device. If I take a device up...
Don't worry about the gas pressure. We all know we've got gas pressure. Show me gas pressure without a container.
The only way of measuring it, Nathan...
Not the gas pressure. We all know and agree we've got gas pressure.
In your room, the only way of you showing there's gas pressure in your...
We all know there's gas pressure, moron. I want gas pressure without a container. Don't ask me to prove gas pressure. We all know we've got gas pressure. The assertion is space, the vacuum that your space religion has outside of the gas pressure we all know and love. So I want you to give me a demonstration of gas pressure without a container.
I will do so, but you need to let me answer. If you want an answer, I've got to be able to answer. Right.
Not an answer. Show me gas pressure without a container.
I'm trying to, but you won't let me.
Show me.
Right. So the way you would demonstrate gas...
No, that's an explanation. Show. It's a visual question. Show me a demonstration of gas pressure without a container. Not a verbal explanation. Not a description. Not an assertion of your religious belief about Earth. A demonstration of gas pressure without a container. It's very, very simple.
I'm trying to give you an answer. I'm trying to give you an answer.
A demonstration. Demonstration, not an answer.
Nathan.
Demonstration.
Right, so I'm trying to give you an answer.
You're not listening. I don't want an answer. That would imply a verbal explanation. I want you to demonstrate gas pressure without a container.
You won't let me.
Demonstrate it. Yeah, I'll let you demonstrate it.
I'm trying to answer. You won't let me.
Not answer. Demonstrate.
I'm trying to answer you.
Demonstrate.
Right. I'm trying to give you an answer.
A demonstration.
Can I please kick him now?
Yeah, I'm going to kick you out. You can't demonstrate it.
Let me answer the question.
Repeat after me.
Right. Who's interrupting me now?
Repeat after me, Rumpus. I would like a demonstration. A demonstration. Not an answer. A demonstration of gas pressure without a container.
Sorry, I kicked him. It's just... I was getting a serious headache here.
My God, thank you.
Rumpusing permanently for the last 40 minutes.
Right.
Nathan, why do you
Can I visually demonstrate a little obstruction here for a moment? I have my webcam on. It's very difficult to do. I would have to basically use a standard, but anyway, I'm gonna try again.
Hey, Arwen?
Hold on. Is this your penis?
No.
Better not be. Oh no, okay.
No, look, I'm just...
The angle of sight of being now.
the height. The height should be. This should be the height, roughly.
Can you hear me?
Say again. Who said that?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. It's
Hello.
Bob. Can you hear me? All right.
We can.
I think the more important thing is allowing Rumpus to dominate the show as a professional obfuscator.
Events get turn your mic off.
You've clearly destroyed his argument over and over.
Events get turn your mic
one of the
off.
most annoying human beings on the planet.
Can
Say
you
that again,
guys
Bob.
see this?
Can you repeat that, Bob?
No.
Event Horizon was covering up what you were saying.
I was
Sorry.
just saying that Rumpus is probably one of the most annoying people on the planet. And you've clearly destroyed his argument over and over and over for as long as I've been listening to the show, for about the last 8 months, 8 or 9 months. And I think he's just coming in here just to obfuscate, just to confuse, to dominate the conversation, to obfuscate the points, when you've clearly destroyed his argument over and over and over. Everything he brings up.
To condemn the eating of animals, and I
Hello, Alan.
You could explain
hello.
Position.
So, didn't that look like obstruction? The camera exactly half, the lens exactly half. Yeah, right on the edge of the of my desk here. And yeah, you could clearly see that it was already obstructing in a vague way, because it's very close actually. But yeah, that was already causing obstruction and blurring. So that's already an example. This is maybe 30 centimeters. And already you can see obstruction if you go low enough. And as I took the camera upwards, yeah, you could clearly see, like, oh yeah, it immediately becomes visible and everything becomes unobstructed. So that's, yeah, obstruction is all about the distance to the flat surface you're looking past. That's what causes it. That's what causes the optical slant. It's demonstratable.
Exactly. All he has to do is read about areas of diffraction. You don't even have to go into it very deeply. And it's there. I tried to get on yesterday to talk about when Pete Mars brought up gyroscopes. The 30-year pilot in flying jets, been to 50,000 feet. Ask many of my pilot friends, how can the Earth be curved when you're operating with a gyroscope? Gyroscope proves it beyond the shadow of a doubt.
I think Anthony would agree.
Conservation of angular momentum. Are you hearing me okay?
We hear you. I was hoping Anthony
angular
would,
momentum.
I thought Anthony would start talking at that point, but he didn't.
Well,
what about it?
The guy I wanted to speak to has been kicked, so...
Wasn't me.
Silence.
Actually, I can do it with Arwen, actually.
What?
Let me... I can do it with Arwen, but I can't demonstrate it because I wanted Rumpus to do it, because he's got the software to do it. I can't do it, actually.
Did you want to talk about gyroscopes, though? Because, no offense, Bob was just literally... I thought you'd use that as a useful segue into... I know you wanted to talk about gyroscopes. So there's the best segue ever, and you're like, no, let's go back to the bit Rumpus, who's been kicked out, wanted to talk about.
Sorry, I didn't see the comment on gyroscopes. What was said about gyroscopes?
Bob, do you want to... He wasn't paying attention, my friend. You gave him the most beautiful segue ever, and he ruined it.
I'm a 30-year pilot. I've been flying jets all my life. The arguments that are brought up about pendulous vanes, you guys know that. Pendulous vanes are only on a vacuum-powered gyroscope. Gyroscope has nothing to do with gravity. It's not affected by gravity. It's conservation of angular momentum. It is rigid in space. That's how theoretically,
It's
they
not
Apollo
influenced by
astronauts.
any force unless it's very abrupt, like a sudden turn change.
Exactly. Yes, a gyro will tumble if it's affected by a very sharp and
spike of force.
Immediate force.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And it does need a mechanism to re-erect the gyro once it's tumbled.
Indeed, and those are the pendulous vanes. Pendulous vanes.
Exactly. Now, an electrically powered gyro.
Sorry, just stop a sec. Let me ask a question. Why might somebody that is a pilot, and I'm talking about Wolfie, why might he tell people that pendulous vanes are a gravity adjustment?
Because he's a liar.
He's an idiot. He's a liar. He is obviously lying. I mean, he's trying to obfuscate the point.
Well, I agree that
every
he's lying.
pilot learns.
My question really is he would a pilot of Wolfie's claimed experience, regardless of what that is, but most people accept he is a pilot, tells us every video. Would a pilot know the purpose of pendulous vanes inside a gyro, what they're for, what they do, how they work?
Absolutely.
No.
Well,
no,
I would say they should. They should, but I have run up against cognitive dissonance where people say, well, other pilots say, well, there must be something that compensates for the curvature. You know, the circuit. If P, then Q. You know, there must be compensation for the curvature because the Earth is curved, right? But
so, what was the answer to my question? Arwen spoke for you, and I didn't catch your answer. I asked, would a pilot know about pendulous vanes and that they are not a correction for gravity?
Absolutely.
They would know that they are not a correction for gravity. Is that right?
That's absolutely. That's exactly right. He would know. He definitely knows. His newer aircraft today, the avionics today, in light aircraft, say a Cessna 172, a training aircraft, they use accelerometers. Okay, just like the one in your phone, similar to the one in your phone. So each accelerometer one for pitch, roll, yaw. I think there are 4 of them. I'm not exactly sure, but in maintenance, when you want to calibrate it, you calibrate it exactly the way you do your phone, your level app on your phone. You have to level the aircraft, make sure it's perfectly level, right? And then you hit the calibrate button. Okay, so it's a given. You know, you can deny it all they want, but that is a fact. Now, when I first started flying jets, I flew the original Learjet, which is one of the highest flying aircraft that was certified to 50,000 feet. I thought surely I'd see the curvature of the Earth. Pretty excited about that. Well, I never saw it. And of course, I forgot about it over the years. I didn't think too much about it again, but until the last few years. But yeah, it's
Tony.
It's obvious.
Couldn't agree more. Obviously and observably flat.
Yeah, thank you for your testimony. It's awesome.
I think we're being
like
trolled.
I said.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
No, why?
Yeah.
Who's trolling here?
I think you're being trolled.
Legitimate. Yeah, by you maybe.
Trolled by what? By who?
You.
Trolled by
your
who?
voice sounds a little bit suspicious, I'll be honest.
Is his lingo
About
off?
what?
He described in detail a lot of things. So yeah, that's a sign that
what would you like
he's
to
actually
know?
real.
But it's the vernacular that
Ask
you
me a
sounds
question.
almost sarcastic.
No, that's just a voice. You know, do you have a bit of a kind of a shaky voice or something? How old are you, if I may ask?
55.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I don't see anything wrong with his voice.
Yeah, I hear he sounds like George and Nathan Oakley.
It does sound like George and Nathan Oakley.
Nah.
Oh God.
So you flew.
I'll take that as an insult.
No, he doesn't sound like George Nathan at all.
Nathan, what do you think?
Look,
Have you got a view?
You can go with the argument of Coriolis.
George has a dog as well.
He just argued pro flat Earth. Seriously, what's your problem?
George has a dog as well, doesn't he?
If I'm leaving from the southern United States and going due north to Michigan, to northern Michigan, I don't aim at New York to get to Michigan. I plot my course direct, straight line to Michigan. I'm not compensating for the earth rotating beneath me.
And then
So how long have you been a pilot? Sorry.
30 years.
Wow. All right.
30 years.
So that means you were flying jets when you were 23?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's usually when you say.
no, I was
No, it's not, Arwen.
26 or 27. I don't remember exactly.
Oh, all of a sudden the numbers
1988. I got my first jet job.
Yeah.
Do the math.
30 years.
Cool.
What do you want to know? Where did you learn?
Have you ever been deployed anywhere?
Shut up, Owen. Give me 5 minutes. Where did you learn to fly?
I learned to fly at my local airport. Took flying lessons.
In jets?
Here in America, anybody can go to the local airport and take flying lessons and get a pilot's license.
In jets?
No, you start in light aircraft and get your private pilot's license. Then usually your instrument rating after that. And then your commercial license. And 99.9% of the pilots get their flight instructor certificate. And they teach for enough time to build up enough hours to get a job. Most jobs, not the FAA, but the insurance companies require 1,500 hours of flight time, usually before you can be insured. So in order to build up flight time, most pilots teach as a flight instructor in order to build up enough time.
Yeah. Out of interest, what were the first few planes you flew?
First planes I flew?
Yeah.
First plane I took a lesson in was a Cessna 150.
Oh, nice.
I owned a 1946 Piper J3 Cub.
George has a dog, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, let Alan do this. Let Alan do this. Let Alan do this.
Go ahead, Alan.
Go ahead. What else you got?
No, I'm just interested. Usually people who are pilots can name all the planes they've flown in.
You asked me what was the first airplane I flew. I answered that. What else do you want to know?
Long time ago, dude.
I've flown almost every light aircraft manufactured.
To be fair, Alan, if you say that you like peanut butter jelly sandwiches, we'll say that you're lying.
Get the guitar, boy.
Hey, what's up, brother? Long time, man.
Yeah.
But carry on. Nice to meet the new gentleman, too.
Go ahead. What else do you want to know?
Love pizza.
Yo, I mean, bless everyone here.
Oh, dear. Look who's there.
Hey,
Hi, there's only one human race.
Oh, hello, P.
Hello.
Team R's in the building.
And
yeah, I enjoyed more talking to P Mars than Rumpus earlier. It was a shit show when Rumpus is here. When P Mars is here, at least there's a flow going, you know.
So how high have you been?
P Mars motivated.
Did you say it was
motivated me to join because he brought up gyros yesterday. He knows nothing about a gyroscope or aircraft avionics.
Oh, I learned all that from Antonio
Now,
Superhats.
my question is.
Speak up, if you.
Hey,
My
Mike.
question is, P.
Hey, Mike,
hold on.
how you
My
doing?
question, P. Mars.
Hold on, please.
My question.
Hold on.
Is,
Hold on. Sorry, just bear with us a
what
second,
did-
Bob. Sorry, Bob. Bear with us. Hey, Mike, can you hear us?
Sure.
Hi, guys.
Good to have you.
Go on.
Sorry.
My question is, in World War II, with the B-17 bombers that were using mechanical gyros, okay, they did not have anything compensating for the curvature of the Earth, like you claimed yesterday. Whatever it was, I don't even remember what it was you were saying. That has nothing to do with.
Hold on. I think your first mistake is taking PMAR seriously.
Absolutely. But I've just.
The old bombers
I've
did
just
take
heard
some
that
turns,
argument
right?
many times. I've heard that argument many times, so it's ridiculous.
Oh, I
You
have a
haven't read the
video
first.
of the
You obviously haven't
airplane.
read
Well,
the first.
PMARS, didn't the B-17s use gyroflux gate compasses?
I'm not an expert on this. I just.
Yes, I think they did. They had
You're a professional poker player, aren't you, P?
I'm a professional poker player.
Have you ever won anything?
Yeah, of course.
What's your biggest pot ever?
I won like $4,000 in a tournament. I guess that's
Wow,
the biggest.
nice.
Hold on. PMARS is a boss. Let's not just go there. What else we got cooking today? How y'all doing, man? I only got a little bit of time, so I figured I'd hop on. I don't want to talk about PMARS' winnings.
What is the significance of a flux gate compass?
Well, you should know. You're a
Flux
pilot.
gate,
You should know you're a pilot.
Right. Are you just pulling stuff out of your ass?
No, you'd know if you're a pilot.
Do you know what a flux gate is?
I believe you're a pilot, just on the record. So, but yeah, aren't you worried? Have you always been so forward about flat Earth, or you think nobody you know will ever watch this, or you don't care? Are you very open about it? How do you assert yourself against your
Yeah,
opponent?
if someone asks about it. I usually don't. I'm not going to bring it up. I don't claim that the Earth is flat. I will say that everywhere I've flown, everywhere I've been, what I've observed is
observably flat.
but
right?
Right, yeah,
right.
Absolutely. A gyro could not operate. You could not operate an aircraft with a gyroscope. That is your artificial horizon is your main reference instrument. You know, most aircraft spend about 20% of their flight time without visual references.
Right.
You cannot see. You have
That's
no
the trust
visual
your
horizon to see outside.
You have to trust your instruments.
So right, you've got to have a reference, an artificial horizon. And it does not compensate for the curvature of the Earth. It cannot, will not. It does not.
Do you know what cage and uncage is?
Another misconception is flying. We
hold on.
Yes.
Just tell us what cage and a gyroscope does.
When you pull the cage on, it erects the gyro. It sets it to level.
Still not sure, Tony.
They used to have cage.
I'm with you.
Gyros used to have cage locks. Cage locks where you could lock it in place. Now, most newer gyros don't have a cage lock. You just pull the knob, it erects it to level, and then you release it.
So when you're calculating your fuel, why do they calculate the fuel in kilograms rather than in liters or gallons?
Well, we do pounds, but why do they calculate it in pounds as opposed to gallons?
Yeah. You're taking a volume of fuel, right? Why do they do it with kilograms, or why do they do it with weight rather than volume?
That's a good question. Don't have a good answer for you, but I'll look into it and see.
What?
You look into it as a pilot. Come on, man.
It's very obvious, that answer.
I'm pretty sure that a pilot would be able to tell exactly the reason why they do that.
That is suspicious, dude. Sorry, but you should know this. It's a fundamental principle. You deal with it. You should be dealing with this on a daily basis if you're a pilot.
Oh, it is. It's a fundamental. So why do you calculate? Why do you use pounds instead of gallons?
All right. Yeah, it's very simple. Because you have to deal with the weight of the airplane. There's like a limit to it.
Well, that's obvious.
I was going to say,
yeah,
to
so
a
that's
pilot...
why you go straight to the weight and not
to a pilot, that's stating the bloody obvious. So he's not going to just state the obvious because it seems like that goes without saying.
Exactly. That's a question that's so basic that
it's kind of silly.
Why I'm asking why. I thought
the only problem. The only problem, brother, is that like it doesn't sound like many people might trust you flying the aircraft right now. The only thing is that and I would say this as a proud flat earther, / I tried to help the ball earthers with their arguments but got rejected kind of guy. I would say like, it's this thing where you don't no reason for the pretense unless you're trolling to think that flat earth is a troll. Because many people think the flat earth is a troll and people are pretending. But I'll tell you what, they still treat 600 nautical miles as flat. And it's adorable.
Absolutely. When pilots say, when you ask, a lot of people ask the questions, do pilots take the earth curvature and compensation when they navigate? Well, absolutely not. Not unless you're using stellar navigation. You might use the...
Right, but right now we can't get over the idea that you said you were a pilot, my brother. This is where we're I'm sensitive. I'm sure everyone on the panel is as well.
How do you want me to prove it? Prove to me that you're a person.
You're asking the wrong person because I don't think you can prove anything.
Okay, well there you go. Either take it for what it is, or don't. I don't.
Amen,
care.
Brother. Welcome to the.
Good answer.
Show,
did you hear that answer, Issa? Did you hear his answer?
What's that, brother?
Did you hear his answer?
What's that now?
You said about not proving anything, and his answer was, well, take it or leave it, I don't care, which is my answer when someone says, I don't believe you. Oh, really? I don't care.
Right on. Right on.
I mean, it's... But there's no calculation of curvature in navigation. You could maybe just like the Coriolis calculation for ballistics when you're firing a cannon, they might theoretically learn that. But we don't even theoretically learn that in flight school when you're going through flight school.
Out of interest, where did you get
You draw a line on a map? Draw a line on a map?
Where did you get your airline transport pilot certificate from?
Well, in the United States, you can go to any private flight school.
You're a troll.
What the hell do you know about airline transport?
Because that's the first thing you get, and you'd know answer to that. Nobody'd forget that.
The first thing you get, that is the highest rating available to any pilot.
Oh,
and I do have an
Arwin,
airline
sorry,
transport
hold on a
pilot
second.
certificate.
Sorry, Arwin, can you just grab that Ryan guy out of the back chat? Sorry.
So you saying that's the first rating?
No, there's three places.
First license.
Three places you can get that from.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where?
Sorry, what's the question?
Get the guitar, boy.
What's the question?
Welcome to the show.
Oh.
He's asked me where I can get where I got my airline transport pilot certificate from, and claiming that there are only 3 places that you can get an airline transport pilot certificate. I know the rules have changed in the last couple of years, but you could get your airline in the United States anyway. You could get your airline transport pilot certificate at any flight school. You just take a written test. There's a written test and then a flight test. And there's usually on the flight test, there's an oral exam that usually lasts as long as 8 hours. Just as long as the examiner wants to question you about any aspect of flying. And then then you go fly. There's a book that tells all the maneuvers that you have to complete.
Hey, what's up? It's
you know, we were plus or minus 50 feet, plus, you know. What do you want to know? Where did you get this, that there are only 3 places to get your airline transport pilot certificate?
Alan?
Where did you get that, Alan?
Come on, Alan. Don't be shy.
There was a crash about 10 years ago in Albany, New York, when the pilot had been up all night waiting for her, and his aircraft iced up and he crashed. And he obviously he was fatigued. Both pilots were fatigued. And the captain, I believe, had poor reviews at his airline. And just a few years ago, they changed the rule. So pretty much, you almost have to get your ATP, your airline transport pilot's license, from an airline these days. There are schools starting to open now where any pilot can go and get them, but it's become very expensive since they changed the law. But
Who's
in
your
the
name? Is your
80s,
name
when
Bill
I
Miller?
got mine, yeah, I'm
Bill Miller.
All right.
Forgive me, I'm busting chops, brother. Go on, carry on.
I don't know what your. I had an English friend who I flew a lot with when I was young and as a flight instructor, and I know he told me a lot about. It's been many years, but how the British system was quite different, you know, in how to get your licenses and the similar, but a bit more difficult in England.
So do
than
we
it
get a
is here.
conclusion from Alan?
Which is why a lot of people come from Europe to fly here to build their time, to get their ratings, and then they go back to England or Australia and then convert them to their local country's license. So what else you want to know, Alan? How else can I troll you?
Oh. I mean, obviously you've done the 1,500 miles to get approved for your first job.
Hours, you mean?
Yeah. So how did you move from that to flying Learjets?
I had a friend who was leaving a job, and his boss asked him to recommend someone, and he recommended me. You know, in all my career, I've always stayed in corporate aviation. I've never flown for an airline.
So you didn't have to do any extra training, or?
Oh yeah, you do. When you every new aircraft you fly, you do training. Every new company you go to that flies charter, anyway, you have to do company training.
So what type rating did
every jet you fly, every jet.
What type rating did you have to do for a Learjet?
You do a Learjet type rating. I hold a Learjet, an IA jet, and a citation type ratings. For every jet you fly, a pilot flies here in the U.S., you have to do you don't do a written exam, but you do
That's really
a
funny. That's
flight
really
test.
funny because, you know, to get flight ratings, you must pass a written examination and score 70%.
When you get
You're bullshit,
when you
man.
get your license,
Get the guitar.
not for a typewriter. There is no written test for a typewriter.
Yes, I'm looking at the guide now. Step 4.
Well, you're talking about
Step 4. Let me read it to you. Let me read you step 4. Let me read you step 4. Obtain a type rating in one or many Learjet models. The type rating is a certificate from the Federal Aviation Administration allowing a pilot to operate a specific model of jet aircraft. Like other flight ratings, you must pass a written examination with a minimum score of 70% as well as a flight test. Gotcha.
Where are you getting that from? Where are you getting that from?
Gotcha.
Where are you reading that off of?
He doesn't want to tell you. He doesn't want to tell you because then you'd know what we need to have if you had those.
Because you're absolutely wrong.
Of course I am.
So what's the source, Alan?
Wrong.
So what's the source?
Gotcha.
Not gotcha. What's the source?
Shut up, Nathan. Gotcha.
No, we need to know where you're
What's
getting
the source
information
of your information?
from.
Gotcha.
The internet.
Go get the FAA's Pilot Handbook of Aeronautical Knowledge. It has all the requirements in it. It has every law that you have to follow.
Hey, yo, Alan, he's a Navy SEAL too.
I think so. I think he lands jet on water and then goes in one man.
Alan, where are you getting your information?
There's a certificate for that one too.
Hold on, Lisa. So what's your source of this information? I'm keeping the show open just for that.
Yeah, I'm not giving it you then.
So we can just ignore it then.
Because you're an idiot.
So we'll just ignore it then.
You
Alan.
probably pulled up Wikipedia. Wikipedia also says that there are 3 different types of gyros. That there's an earth gyro, a regular gyro, I don't know. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. I've never heard of an earth gyro. It also says that the weight at the bottom of a gyro keeps it erect, keeps it level with the earth on an earth gyro. Anybody who's played with a gyro. Nathan, don't you have a super precision gyro?
No. Surprisingly.
Well, you can see it on YouTube anytime. You put a weight on the side of the gyro, it doesn't affect it. Or it balances.
I'm more interested in Alan's source because he claims to have discredited. He claims to have discredited you, but won't reveal his source.
Oh, no, I'm not going to do. So Bob, when you did your first job, did you go straight in as a pilot? Did you take a job as an officer, first officer, or did you go as a co-pilot?
I was a co-pilot in jets when I started flying jets.
Almost correct.
Is that right, Steve?
End the show, Nathan.
There are no jets. There may be a few jets flying that use a flight engineer, if that's what you're referring to. But most aircraft are 2-pilot airplanes. Even a 787 is a 2-pilot airplane. There is no flight engineer. That's an obsolete position. Nobody even gets their flight engineer rating anymore.
Gotcha, Alan. Gotcha. Gotcha.
You think so?
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Alan, what profession are you in, Alan?
I'm a writer.
You're a writer.
Yeah, I only came on so Anthony could say thank you to me.
So, what about these engineers that don't exist, Alan?
What engineers?
Right.
What engineers, Nathan? What engineers are you talking about?
I'm asking you.
You're obviously reading outdated or
maybe if we knew your source, we could show you where you're going wrong, Alan, but you don't want to reveal it. Disingenuous.
Maybe.
No, with fact, you are disingenuous. You haven't revealed your source. You're just claiming it could be written in crayon by your 2-year-old for all we know.
I've got no children.
Oh, right. Well, it still could be written in crayon. We'll never know, though, because you won't reveal it.
No, so
gotcha.
Thanks, everybody, for joining the show and being in chat and having a great time. Shout out to you. I've had a great time. Goodbye, Bob.
You can't. That's ridiculous. I don't know if anybody else is in. Everybody has their own profession, and you've been watching the news where a stupid news reporter makes some claim about a profession, whether engineering or whatever the profession is, and you go, "Oh my God!" You know, they don't know what they're talking about. You know, they make some stupid assumption about.
You're using a voice changer. It seems to modulate between male and female. It's really weird.
Know a lot about it, wouldn't you, Alan?
You what?
You'd know all about that, right?
No, unfortunately, this is the only voice I've got.
Well, this is the only one I've got. So when I first started flying jets, we flew a lot of freight at night. It was back when the automotive companies were starting their zero inventory thing, where they were eliminating warehousing parts at their factories. So they were going to just-in-time production is what they called it. And so the trucks would arrive with the parts just in time for them to put them on the assembly line and assemble the car. Well, a lot of the times the trucks were late, so they would, hot shot an airplane or charter an airplane, jet to fly it up there quickly, so they wouldn't cost them some phenomenal amount of money to shut down a plant to wait for parts. So they would pay phenomenal amounts of money for aircraft charter to fly seat covers or steering wheels or stupid things from the Mexican border or down in Mexico up into Michigan or wherever the plant was. Most of the ones we flew to were in Michigan, that area, Ohio. But we were flying when the traffic was low, and this Learjet was a phenomenal airplane. We would go from brake release to 45,000 feet in less than 14 minutes. I think that's an average of a little over 33,000 feet a minute. Just an amazing machine. Great fun.
Did you say you also flew the Citation?
And that's another thing I wanted to bring up.
Bob, you must have flown in the 80s then.
I did.
Yeah. What were your favourite light aircraft?
Here we go. He's got a list of 80s light aircraft.
Say that again. What's your question?
Hang on, I'll say it slow so you can Google it. What were your favourite light aircraft from the 80s?
My favourite light aircraft. J3 Cub was my absolute favourite.
Why? Why did you like that one in particular?
Why? I don't know. It's kind of like can't really put it into words. It's kind of like a Harley Davidson, It's just something about it that it's low and slow and just fun to fly. It's all stick and rudder, you're flying by the seat of your pants. No computers, no electronics, no autopilots. It's just you and the aircraft. I don't know, Bonanza, 210, Baron. was a twin-engine piston. What else? You need one more. I don't know. A Piper Aztec. Look that one up.
And in a jet, what's the maximum bank angle?
Bloody hell.
You can, there is no maximum bank angle.
Goodbye, Nathan. Goodbye.
Why would you claim there's a maximum bank angle of aircraft flies in 3D space? You can roll. Have you ever seen an aerobatic airplane? An airplane do aerobatics? Have you ever seen an airplane do a roll? Well, every single airplane can do a roll.
Not true. I thought commercial airlines prevented that.
Now the Airbus, I think, does because of their computer system. It limits, won't allow the pilot, which is why a lot of pilots hate that airplane, because really a computer's flying. It's fly-by-wire, so if the
what you're
pilot
saying is
inputs
if you've got manual control over all of the inputs, you can push everything beyond what Alan would count as a maximum bank angle.
Absolutely, because what if you got into a turbulence that turned the airplane upside down? How would you roll it back right side up? Right? It has to be capable of rolling it at 360 degrees. Has to be.
I don't know.
Right? There's something called on heavy aircraft. There's something called wingtip vortices. It's like a little tornado coming off the wingtip, right? And if you get too close behind, if a smaller aircraft gets, or even a large aircraft gets too close into those wingtip vortices, especially an aircraft over 200,000 pounds, those vortices are strong. Look, kind of like the wake of a boat, all right?
Sure.
Those vortices are strong enough to roll an aircraft upside down. Okay, it's happened many times in history.
Sure, it's called wake turbulence.
And so the pilot, right? So the pilot in the aircraft that gets upset by wake turbulence has to be able to roll it you have to have full control in 3 dimensions, right? Which is why a lot of pilots today, or it didn't start today, it actually started a long time ago, wanted to require all pilots to have, they call it upset training. Basically it's basic aerobatics to put the pilot in an unusual attitude so severe to give you the experience of recovering, and confidence to be able to recover from those attitudes, from those extreme attitudes. Absolutely, you can roll any airplane.
Makes sense.
Now, again, on the Airbus aircraft, remember when the Airbus first came out, the test pilot did a low pass over the runway, and it crashed into the trees at the end of the runway.
I do.
And the pilot claimed that the computer did not respond to the throttles as he pushed up the throttles. And the Airbus engineers say, "Oh no, you didn't push up the throttles." And the pilot's, "Yes, I did push up the throttles, but the computer didn't respond." Now, in that airplane, it's probably different, but because it does limit what the pilot can do. The computer makes the decisions. The pilot can put in the inputs, but the computer makes the ultimate decision of what to do, which is a scary thing for a pilot.
Right. Well, when you asked for your favourite planes, you're talking about manual controlled planes. So, like you say, you've got ultimate control to force it into doing whatever it wants, including crashing it.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Is your
they all can, and like I say, they go ahead.
Just going to ask if your YouTube account was particularly old by any chance?
I don't know.
Have you had this account for quite some number
of years? I don't know how. I've had it for a little while. Yeah, I've had it for a while.
Yeah. I suspect so. We're the only ones here. Everyone else has been sniped. I don't know if you noticed. But we're still happily here having a conversation. Which is ace. So, for some reason, your account doesn't appear to be snipeable. Which is good.
My account is snipeable?
Unsnipeable.
I'm sorry, I'm not really...
No, it means that other people can be removed.
6 months to get Hangouts to work.
Yeah, but I think the account you're using is quite an old YouTube account, which is good news. Anyway, it's been absolutely lovely chatting to you. Oh, no, that's where he gets sniped. Maybe not. So with that, I'm going to say first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. If you hated the show, then you know exactly what to do. But if you liked it, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you've not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!